we had to, is the mic off?
Yeah, it's not on.
So no, we have to handle things differently when they walk away from that podium. So do y'all mind if the acting chair right now say, hey, you must stay at the podium? And if they need to give me anything to give to y'all or anyone, I go to them.
Yeah.
But the way she came, because I looked around, y'all, we don't have anywhere to run. If anything happens, all we can do is duck.
So you're talking about like, so
When they want to hand something up, they don't approach her, she goes to them.
But also, when Jennifer walked up close to the threshold, shouldn't have been done. She should have stayed at the podium.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. So can you announce that today and make sure you stay at the podium?
Sure. Well, somebody goes to leave, we'll just tell them, we'll come to you.
Okay.
We'll make sure they, I see you got a thing, son.
They didn't fix it.
I know that.
I called 3 times. I told them that's why I gave them the big paper clip. They have some big job going on in the city, and that Trace couldn't get here.
Can you get us a pack of legal pads?
Absolutely.
We don't have, and these are the extra long ones, we just need the normal ones.
Okay, the normal.
Yeah, we don't need the long ones.
Okay, I'll give that. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Is everybody ready? Rock and roll? Ready? We're going to call this meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Bass?
Here.
Councilmember Carley?
Here.
Councilmember Miles?
here.
Council Chair is absent, and Councilmember Tompkins?
Here.
Or shall I say acting chairman?
You can just call me whatever. Tonight, Council Chairman Zajac has got the big COVID bug, so he won't be here tonight, so we're going to kind of go without him. See, today we're going to have the prayer by Councilmember Miles. Please stand.
Dear Lord, our Father, we ask that you cover us tonight. We ask that you allow our governing body to govern with the spirit of integrity. We ask that you cover the hearts of those who come to speak. We ask that you give us the ear to hear and allow us to listen to get an understanding. We ask that everything is done in decency and in order. We ask all these blessings and favors in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we have speakers on the agenda items, I'll let everybody know, agenda items 5, 6, and 7 have all been removed from the agenda tonight. Now, Vicki, speakers on the agenda items?
There's one speaker, that's Lauren Andanetta, and that was on agenda item number 7, and it's being pulled. So there's no speakers.
All right. Administrative update, Tony?
I don't have anything,
Nothing?
Mr. Tompkins.
Control report, nothing. Community happenings, does anybody have anything they've got to?
On the 3rd of June, there will be, I think it's like a citywide, like a prayer that they have at Gill Creek Park. Young lady, her last name is Agee, Kiera Agee. She does it once a year. I think it's a good thing for everyone to attend because I think we as a city need prayer. So, and it's not a specific religious thing. I think it's just, everyone coming together. So I think it's a good thing. It's on the 3rd of June. I believe that's a Saturday. So it's like a day of prayer or something like that. And I want to say I'll have more information before. I think it's like from 12 to 4.
One more thing, I guess next week, May 8th through the 12th is National Tourism Week here in Niagara Falls, so. At Tourism Capital.
Find a tour, give them a hug.
There we go. Welcome to the city.
All right, let's do a review of the agenda items.
Agenda item number 1, approval of appointments for Commissioner of Deeds. Agenda item number 2. Agenda item number 3.
Question. Is this for it to be managed? Is this like by Niagara University?
No, this is the pothole killer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm way ahead. Oh, excuse me.
Pothole killer.
Let's keep moving. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, it got put. 5 got put. Okay. God bless you. Good.
Agenda item number 4.
That's it.
Call them out for a vote.
Agenda item number 1, approval of appointments for Commissioner of Deeds.
Move it.
Call the roll?
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley.
Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Council Chair Tompkins.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 2, approval of community development plan amendments.
Move it.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley.
I know we're gonna give some money to the iron workers and always caring about the trades. It would be good to see what slots are available, to see if we can get people on there of the community to work on this, this project, so yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Council Acting Chair Tompkins.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 3, approval of proposed agreement with Patch Management Incorporated, spray injection pothole repair pothole killer.
Call the roll? Oh, move it? Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley.
You know, I was looking for the RFP to know where this $195,000 was going to. I didn't see that on the website. I'd love to see it. It would be great to see it attached to the agenda item, so I don't have to worry about going against the charter. So I'm a no on this one.
Mr. Chairman, this is sole source. There is no RFP for this particular vendor.
It's the same one we've been using for the
Since
past 7 years.
2008.
Yeah.
Since 2008.
No.
Councilmember Miles.
So for the pothole killer from where I live and the streets that I travel and most of my constituents, I'm quite sure anything that we can do to help patch these streets, and hopefully at some point really get them fixed for real and not patch everything up. But however, all of the potholes and all of the craters that we're dodging every day, if there's something that we can do to kind of make that, move a little bit forward, make our drives a little bit better, I'm all for it, so I say yes for that.
Council Acting Chair.
Yes.
This item has been approved. Agenda item number 4, approval of the contract for FM Communications Incorporated for upfitting for NFF Niagara Falls Fire Department vehicles.
Call the roll? Move it?
Call the roll.
Councilmember Bax.
Yes.
Councilmember Cawley.
Yes.
Councilmember Miles.
Yes.
Council Acting Chair Tompkins.
Yes.
This item has been approved. That's it for the agenda items.
That's it for these items. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, we do. For the good of the community, speaker number 1 is Ralph Jeremy.
Sure, hold on just 1 second, okay? I just want to say, today, with me sitting in the chairman's seat, everyone knows the rules that you're supposed to speak to the entire body, you're supposed to speak with decorum, and this isn't directed at just you, it's for everybody. If I have to gavel somebody, anyone that's a speaker, you're not getting extra time, because if I have to gavel you, it means you did something that caused the gavel. So just speak what you got to say, be presentable, have good decorum, and let's rock and roll.
Last week and talked about how the city did what they did with my house and everything else. Is that better? Okay. So I was here last week about the city going into my house and taking cars and doing everything they've done over the past couple of years, me being in court. I don't think it's fair that I had to go to court, pay money for that, get a disorderly conduct, and now have a fee on top of the $6,000 that I'm being fined, or the $17,000 I'm being fined. What is amusing to me is how we have all these houses in Niagara Falls that are abandoned, that nobody wants to take care of, but yet the city's doing nothing about them. You have houses all over downtown and a couple uptown, from where I'm from, that are being used as crack houses or meth houses or whatever you want to call them, but yet the city doesn't care. They're not doing anything about them. Instead, you have your code enforcement, your DPW, and, again, the mayor's brother going out, taking pictures of people's houses where uptown and downtown, but you're not eliminating the problem. They're still going to people's houses, taking their stuff, telling them how wrong they are, how much of a piece of crap they are, and everything else, but you're not fixing the problem. What about these houses? No one's taking care of them. The city's watched them dilapidate, and I'm just sick of dealing with it, as of a lot of other people. Instead of sitting here making taxpayers pay for the code enforcement, DPW, everything else, be going out taking pictures, how about tear the houses down so no one's got to deal with them? Thank you.
Our next speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, good. I just recently moved out to DeVoe, and right across the street from my house, there's a vacant lot, and the trees are actually falling down. So what I did last year is I went to the fire department on Ontario Avenue. I spoke with the captain there, and his brother just happens to be the head of a DPW. So I maintained the yard, I cut the grass, I set the dead debris out by the curb, and thank goodness he sent out someone and they removed it all. I'm having the same situation this year. I took pictures of it, and I don't mind doing the work, but sometimes people in the community be complaining to me, but they say, well, that's the city's job. I said, well, the city's not here. Somebody has to do it. You know, I have the resources to do it, so I do it. However, I was just wondering if there's some way that I could get some type of assistance from the city to help me when I do remove the dead brush, because it's a fire hazard, and get some type of resources from the city so that I don't have to do all this running around, besides the gas I use for cutting the grass and all those other things. As I stated, I don't mind doing it, I just want to have some type of assistance.
Over, let me get your name and number, and let's see if we can do something to help you out a little bit.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank everyone here.
Our next speaker is Dan Leonard.
Evening, councilors. I don't know if you remember me from the last meeting. Dan Leonard, National Air Traffic Controllers Association, local president. Councilor Miles stated, trust is earned, not given. He's completely correct. Anything that I say tonight is public and common knowledge and can be found by any that seek it. I believe after the last meeting, there were some questions, and my name ending up in the Niagara Gazette. Rainbow Air has all the authorities to operate in the Canadian restricted airspace over Niagara Falls. They have all the authorities to operate in Niagara Falls. They have the letters of agreement that are needed to be in place for them to do their operation in a safe, orderly, and efficient manner. My statement last time was, I did not believe this council had the authority to issue what Nyan, aka Hummingbird, had requested. They still don't have those authorities. After due diligence and education on what they were requesting from the council, that's up to you to decide. I was admonished by certain individuals that I'm not to talk about the NTSB report, I'm not to talk about the noise, which I did not believe was that big an issue in this city, but I guess it is operating out of that heliport. But I can talk about the fact that if you're going to put your ducks in the row and you're going to do a commercial operation, this would be the last or one of the last places I would want to go. They have no authority, nor do they have the right. They may have an application with Transport Canada, but they don't have that authority yet. They may request for a commercial operating certificate from you. They don't have that yet. The most they have at this time is under FAR 93 to operate to and from that helipad. That's it. Not around it, not flying in that U.S. restricted airspace that's owned by a separate entity of the United States government that can give them approval and give them the needed beacon codes and everything else that they're seeking. They have nothing. As of right now, they can operate out of the Niagara Falls Airport underneath the same guise that every other VFR aircraft or IFR aircraft does. They can fly to that helipad. They can fly from that helipad. So to clarify it so that it's on the record in case I end up in the newspaper again, that's all they have. So whereas Rainbow Air has every duck in a row to do a operation of sightseeing and touring over Niagara Falls in Canadian restricted airspace, in United States restricted airspace, Hummingbird doesn't even have a duck. I just wanted that all clarified because I didn't stick around last time, but I didn't know anybody was going to be able to talk a second time. I promise I'll stick around this time. Thanks.
Our final speaker is Mary Tillman.
Good evening, everyone. All right. I wanted to start off by saying when I first got here to the city of Niagara Falls, New York, before I started coming to the meetings and everything, probably back in 2014, started coming to the meetings, I've heard from other people, and I was like, why don't you guys go to the council meetings and everything? And these were people that were older, all age ranges. They say, oh, we don't go because nothing happens. I said, you got to have a little faith. You got to show up, you know, at least voice your opinion. You just got to keep coming until you make something happen. And so, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know about the meeting today, but I know it's been packed in here for the last Wednesdays. Maybe they didn't get the memo for tonight. I was going to come on last Wednesday, but so much other things took place, so I couldn't come. So there's a few things I wanted to share. So I had to write it down. I said I wanted to start off with this. If any of you that are sitting here honestly can say when you go home, as you look back over the day, this day in particular, that you've made a difference in your community, that everything that people said before I got up here at this moment, and those that may come after me, if you really made a difference in your community by listening to the needs of the community and meeting those needs, then guess what? Your work was done. But if you have not, then your work has not been done. I also wrote down that when I go to work, I make sure, because I work with children, I make sure that my needs are met according to the children. And if I did not meet those needs, I say, I'm going to make sure I do better, and that I'm going to make sure that their needs are met. I'm going to make a difference. I'm not just going to go from day to day to day and do what it is I want to do or what I feel should be done, because this is what I'm thinking from my end. I'm going to look at the whole picture, and I'm going to say, okay, I need to meet the needs of the children, is where I say as we come together as a whole, we need to say it's not what I think or what I want, because it may not be happening where I live, but it is happening where I work and where I sit on the council. So I need to meet the needs of those that come up here every Wednesday, every other Wednesday, faithfully, and get here on this podium and present to you the needs that the community of Niagara Falls need. And if they have not been met, then what does that do for us when some of you have been voted into office to meet our needs? Every other weekend, two more things. Every other weekend, I take care of a client. I can go in there and say, I'm gonna do it how I want, but I don't do that. I'm there to meet her needs. What is it you want? How do you want your food fixed? What do you want me to do? I'm going to meet her need, and I'm going to do it how she wants. And that's what we need to look at as a whole. We need to look at it, what is the people are saying? What do they want, and how can we meet the needs of each and every person that's here in the city of Niagara Falls, so we can come together and get this thing right. My last thing is, I know we have urgent care here for pediatrics, for young kids, right? We do have that. But when you have, like, I had a granddaughter that passed away a couple of months ago, and when the fire department came out and the ambulance came out, there really wasn't nobody there that knew anything about babies. Maybe we can initiate that, making sure people that do come out, that they're able to know about babies and give shots and things of that nature, and it would have helped, because it seemed like they didn't know what to do with my little infant granddaughter. So we can initiate that. These are the things that we need. One more thing before my time runs out. Where I live, there is no post-it of when the street sweepers are coming by. There are no signs stating when you're supposed to be on one side of the street. Like I said, I'm not from here, so I don't know how the order is. So there's no signs posted. So we get tickets, and we don't know. And the street just got refurbished. You know, the street was, as Councilman Mao says, most of the streets got potholes. They're just jacked up. So if you guys can post signs, because when I talked to the court, they said I need to go to City Hall, and I knew I was coming Wednesday, so I said I'll just address it when I'm speaking. If you guys can post signs on the streets, regardless of how many people, how long they lived here, and they already know, if just post the signs when you're supposed to be on the side of the streets, what side they're coming on, so I don't end up with a bunch of tickets on my cars. And that's all I have to say.
That's it.
Anybody have anything?
Yeah, I have a question in regards to, because I know we had the issue with the situation with Mr. Rod Davis and those, that project. Where are we with that? Have we got, is there a new developer that's actually going to take over that, or did we lose the funding, or I'm just trying to find out where we are in regards.
We did not lose the funding, and there is a new developer who is currently providing documentation to us. But the state has guaranteed that the funding is still in place for Niagara Falls.
Is there, who is the new developer? Is there?
I don't think it comes public yet until you.
Oh, it's till they actually
Till you
approve?
yeah.
Okay, too, awesome. And another thing is I'm glad that, you know, you know, as far as the hummingbird and, you know, those different agenda items are concerned, I'm glad that it got pulled, because one of the biggest things is you know, it's a mobile problem. What's going to happen is we're talking about the noise, we're talking about the, you know, the propellers from the planes, and it's different than the Bitcoin situation, because that's a stabilized space, and so they're going to have to handle whatever they fix, it's fixed and it's done. Where when it comes down to these helicopters, one, we're dealing with the quality of life issue. And there's a lot of things that we up here as council have to consider when we're making these kind of decisions. You're talking about the quality of life, and then we're talking about finances. And after getting some good quality information, we don't get hardly any money from these, you know, projects being placed in these areas. You know what I'm saying? We get the tax from the people who own that land, but when it comes down to the actual, you know, corporation itself, we don't get a whole lot. We don't get a lot. So you have to take all of these things under consideration, and I'm glad that we're giving ourselves enough time to really sit with it and balance out everything and not make a, you know, knee-jerk decision and say, okay, well, I think this should be cool because it's in my scope. Oh, it's nothing wrong with that, or you know what I mean? Just got to make sure. I'm glad that we're making that type of decision to table or take off until we get more information, because I think that's very important that we make decisions that's on the best interest for the betterment of our city. So kudos for that. Appreciate it.